What is going on? What is going on? I am live. I am live. I'm your boy, Aaron Hamilton, and welcome back to another episode, a live episode of Trucking Truth. And y'all can rock out here live with me. Y'all seen the title, right? Y'all seen the title. This is serious over here. I'm not playing no games. All I'm known for is dropping jewels, helping everybody to better their business and better their career, especially as a trucker, as a truck driver, as however you want to say it. Now, I want to help anyone um, to always better their business, and if anyone out there ever has like a question regarding anything to do with trucking, definitely hit me up at asfx15@gmail.com. Okay? Let me say that. asfx15@gmail.com. Y'all can hit me up, send me an email, ask me some questions. I definitely will respond to you via email to respond back. Or if the question is like super good and I feel like I can make a video out of it, I'll even answer it and make a video out of it to go further in detail on some. All right. Now, how to be successful, how to be a successful owner operator. This live stream, I basically want to aim it towards company drivers looking to make that leap into being an owner operator, has never been an owner operator before, or even some of you beginner owner operators, people that are just starting out. But before I get into all of that, for all intents and purposes, I got to get my safety disclaimer out the way. Understand, understand. I am on a hands-free device, okay? And if you guys happen to see me looking around, that's because I'm looking out my mirrors as well as my windshield, just to ensure the safety of those around me and the safety of myself, and plus my wife. Because if I don't get her home, her mom and dad will probably kill me because I'm unsafe. So, yep. So, please understand I'm trying to be safe. So don't get mad at me. All right. So, how to be a successful owner operator. Okay. So let's say you're a company driver, right? Okay. Now, I don't care if you're working for a mega carrier, and it's probably in a good interest that you are, but anytime you're a company driver, most of the time, depending on where you're at and who you're working for, you're in a truck that is governed at a certain miles per hour. Okay. You're also in a truck where you get fuel. You're in a truck where for to be able to on your load, and if you're a flatbed, make sure you secure your load properly, as a tarp or whatever you got to do to basically just the basic responsibilities as a trucker. Now, becoming an owner operator, it's literally it's literally something different. It's a little bit more. It's a lot more responsibility, and the further you progress as an owner operator, the more responsibility you're going to embark on your plate. Okay, so to all the truckers out there that's looking into becoming an owner operator, whether you want to go lease or do a lease purchase or buy your truck through a third party or buy and lease on with a carrier or even buy your truck and trailer and go get your own authority. Okay, there's basically 100 different ways that you can become an owner operator, and there's 100 different people on YouTube that's going to sit here and tell you, what to expect as an owner operator. Okay, but how many people do you see how to be successful as an owner operator? I don't care how many ways you get into becoming an owner operator. There's only one way to be successful. Okay, there's only one way to be successful, and that's just to do it right. So this is basically my tips to help you to become successful. All right. Now, if you want to become an owner operator and you're a company driver, okay, before you even cross over, before you even cross over to the owner operator world, all right, do your research on owner operators. Find owner operators. Talk to them. Now, I will give y'all a little tip on that. Just because you get the word of mouth from people, even if y'all hearing it from me, don't take my word as is. Always do your research. Okay? And then there's some owner operators out there that's going to tell you not to get in it. Those are the type of people that you don't want to listen to. You want to listen to the people that's actually became an owner operator and made something of it. I can even tell y'all my story to basically how I got to the point where I'm at. Okay. But number one is to always do your research. Talk to people about being an owner operator. What is it like? Okay. Call around different companies that offer that hires on owner operators. Even the company that you're currently working at as a company driver might hire owner operators. So call them, talk to them about being an owner operator, find out some of the responsibilities as an owner operator and stuff, and kind of see, kind of explore whether or not if being an owner operator after you're doing the research, after you basically do that beginning part, see if it's something that you still want to do. Okay. And that's by talking to people, calling around, Googling, everything. Okay. But you're not done there. Just because a whole bunch of people is telling y'all to come over here and become one doesn't mean you're done researching. All right. Now, let's say your mind is made up. Let's say you're really now want to become an owner operator. You talk to a lot of different people, companies, whatever, and owner operator, being an owner operator definitely sounds like it's something for you. Don't jump over here just yet. Okay? Now you need to do more research. Do more research on what it takes to be an owner operator. What does it mean to be an owner operator? How would your career as a truck driver change? Well, I could tell you basically on my side, sorry for all the bumps and stuff, but basically on my side is you go from not worrying about anything with your truck to worrying about everything, worrying about maintenance, worrying about the cost of fuel, worrying about tools, worrying about tires, worrying about windows, worrying about almost everything, lights, everything. You know, but I'm responsible for anything that costs on this and inside this truck. I'm responsible for everything. So how it changed, how jumping over from company driver to becoming an owner operator for me, it changed a lot because now I'm starting to understand the whole business side of everything. And so, so definitely do your research. Do your research as in, how much money do you think you would need to be able to just have in the back pocket? Research, the different types of engines and how much they cost. So that way you can kind of get a understanding of what it's like to be able to take care of your truck. Okay, so definitely do your research and truck payments. Truck payments is definitely going to be the biggest topic. Hey, what's going on? What's your name? Perry. You just got your CDL with Swift. Congratulations. Hey, and all of that stuff you hear, all the jokes and stuff you hear about Swift. Hey, man, don't pay attention to it. Just continue to stay on your grind. Just definitely continue to stay on your grind and just because you got your CDL, remember this first year, just try to continue to go after your experience. Don't go after anything else. Don't worry about money like that just yet. Just go after your experience, build your experience up, and many doors will definitely open for you. But back to what I was saying. So congratulations. But back to what I'm saying about truck payments are one of the biggest far as being an owner operator, truck payments. You hear some people talking about, hey, Miss Jones, good morning to you. How's it going? All right, so you got truck payments. You biggest scares. You hear people talking about they spend $800, $900 a week. in a truck payment, or you hear people talking about how they spend $800-900 a month in a truck payment. Okay, so research the different types is out there, and kind of get an understanding on how your situation is like. Now, everybody's personal situation is different. Your personal situation is not like mine. Situation is not like mine. Call around a little like third party type of places that sell trucks. Understand what I'm saying? And I'm saying this like for real. Call around to like third parties that sell trucks. See what type of credit you had to have. See what type of down payments you also had to have. Okay, and see what is the average uh, truck payment that you'd be paying a month, and what is the type of insurances you're going to have. Trust me, all of this is going to make sense in 1 minute. Okay, now now you're researching the cost of everything. Look, you're researching the cost of everything. Okay, already just because you're doing a lot of research, you haven't technically moved forward with becoming an owner operator just yet. But you definitely started researching, and you're researching the cost of everything. You research the cost to maintain your vehicle. You also research the cost of being able to afford the payments on your vehicle, but you also research the average cost of what it's like to insure your vehicle. So these are costs now that you got inside of your head. So it sounds like a lot of money. All right. Now, after you do all of that, the next thing, the next best thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and build a relationship with a mechanic. Okay, that is certified, that is pretty much fair, um, pretty much fair in price, but that also will stand behind the work that they do as a mechanic that they'll do in your vehicle. People that's not really going to bull jive you. And believe it or not, it's a lot harder to find people that's going to be there for you from the beginning to the end. But it's also going to be, but it's easy to find a mechanic that's not going to bull jive you, and that's pretty decent on the price of the labor. Okay, now, develop a relationship with that mechanic. Talk to that mechanic about what type of things should you do to a truck, and how should you maintenance a truck. And most likely, if you're really cool with that mechanic, the mechanic is going to tell you, what type of maintenance that he's going to definitely give you an insight on that particular, you know, lane, anything of the truck. And while you go get your truck, however, if the truck is basically outright yours, where you buy it from a third party, now you even got a mechanic that now you can do business with. And if you're happen to be one of his main businesses, or always going back to him, he's definitely, or she is definitely, or most likely will give you a discount on certain things. Knock some things out, which is better for you. Like my mechanic right now, for the most part, he's the one that takes care of my truck. And if I have to, I got a relationship with him so good that I'm able to set up a trade between my company, which is A&S Freight Express, and the company that he works for, which is Heavy Cargo, where instead of paying the mechanic right then and there for the work that he does and getting a deal for it, that I get 30 days after my truck gets out the shop and I'm issued a bill to actually pay it, which only betters my business credit as well betters it, and it's a great strong relationship between me and not only that particular mechanic that I'm talking about, but also the company that he represents. So now I'm building business between both entities. So definitely get you a mechanic that's going to help school you in the maintenance world of things. And make sure that that mechanic definitely stands behind the work. Okay, because you don't know how many people that say they stand behind something. You take the truck there to get, and you come out and you got what you went in there with. So when you come back out and you go to talk to him, he's like, I wasn't doing that, whatever, and it done screwed you over. But however, definitely get you a mechanic in that form. Okay. So now you did your research on what it took to be an owner operator. You did your research on the cost of fuel, or You also got your did your research and started talking to a mechanic. All right. Now you need to start doing your variable costs of research. See what it's like, as a company driver. Keep all your fuel receipts. Okay. Keep all your fuel receipts for a month and see and calculate how many times, how much money a month or how much money a week are you spending just on your company's dime in fuel. Okay, you play with it a little bit, but get yourself an average on how much you're really going to spend a week. And this is for any owner operator, any lease operator. See how much you're going to sit here and spend a week in fuel, in tools, and all of that, based upon how you run. Okay, because fuel, believe it or not, as a variable expense, is the number one, the biggest cost to any trucking organization, whether they're a mega carrier or they're a small owner operator. It doesn't matter. As a owner operator to mega carrier, fuel is always the number one cost. So if you can figure out what average of amount of fuel and tools and all this other stuff that you buy as as a variable expense, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and definitely you're starting on the right foot. Okay, now everything I'm telling you guys, believe it or not, is not something I knew going in. All right, this is not something that I found out until later down the road. So everything I'm telling you should be able to help you before you cross over. So all of that research before you cross over. And my last tip on how to begin your journey. Let me say it again on how to begin your journey before you cross over into becoming an owner operator that's definitely going to build you for success is realizing this point here is when you become an owner operator, whether you decided to start out by leasing or you buying your own truck and doing whatever, you're now officially a business. Okay, and there's no point in running a business if you don't know how to run a business. So start checking out ways that you can sit here and start running a business. Learn how to run a business. Learn what it takes to run a business. Learn all of that. That right there is like the key. Right there is the key ingredient of how to begin your journey as an owner operator successfully. Now, this is something I did because back then my situation wasn't, I didn't have I didn't, well, I had bad credit. Plus, I had a bankruptcy. I had a lot of stuff going on where even if I could try it, I wouldn't have been able to come up with enough money. I didn't have no money to come up with a down payment onto a truck or anything like that. So, but also the way that I became an owner operator to me is also going to be the easiest way for anybody to become an owner operator. All right, lease purchase. Now you hear a lot of drivers going to tell you to stay away from lease purchase, and to some retrospect, I agree. Okay, let me say it again. To some retrospect, I agree. Stay away from lease purchases. Y'all hear me over here saying stay away from lease purchases. But there's benefits about anything. There's benefits to everything. Like, you might have a tree in your backyard, and it might suck because that tree gives you too much shade where you want light. That tree might, actually don't want, but that tree is also giving a benefit, which is oxygen. It's help providing oxygen to our atmosphere, so that way we can breathe. So there's literally benefits in everything. So I suggest, even if after you do all your research, what it takes and what it's like, I always say, put yourself to the test, see if you're up for it. But with trucking, it's one of them things I love about trucking. Is let's say you get to a certain point where I want to be an owner operator, but I'm not sure how bad I want to be an owner operator. I don't know if I can deal with all that responsibility, but I could try it. Lease purchase is the best way to experience that. Okay, in other words, going to your carrier and becoming a lease purchase driver. Let me say that again. I don't know if y'all heard me. Lease purchase, going to your carrier and becoming a lease purchase driver. Make sure and every lease purchase is different, but make sure that at least in the lease purchase that's a true walkaway lease. Okay. Now I'm saying this, and I really want you to listen. Make sure if you're still kind of hesitant about becoming a full-fledged owner operator and just jumping in, do lease purchase, and make sure it's a walkaway lease. So that way, at least in this retrospect, that way, after you start paying for the fuel and you're paying a truck payment, you're paying for insurance, okay, and now you're dealing with the business side of things, but it's not necessarily for you. You can walk away from it, and it's not going to hem you up at all, okay? Because there's some leases that you cannot walk away from, and even if you did walk away from, it's going to look bad on your. It's going to go against your credit. It's going to go against a lot of stuff, okay? And it could really screw you up, and it can also cause you to file for bankruptcy, okay? So now now that's why I say, start with lease purchase. And let's say you're also a company driver who's right now getting paid cents per mile. Okay? Who's right now getting paid cents per mile. When you cross over, do lease purchase, they kind of get the feel of what it's like to being on an operator, to kind of help you set up your own business for you to be able to figure out how to run it at the same time, but um stay getting paid per mile, not percentage, per mile. Because when you get paid percentage, it's like your world changes drastically. If you still get paid per mile, you're basically a company driver, a glorified company driver. That's what I call it. Because you're not really doing anything you're not used to. Now you're still chasing miles. You're still doing your normal job, but with the added stress of paying for the fuel, the maintenance, and still setting up your business. To me, that is the best way to transition from a company driver over into being an owner operator. Where it's not too much at once, but it's just enough to get you started. And for those who wants to become an owner operator, look, you don't have to have a certain amount of money to cross over and start your own business in trucking. You don't. Anybody who tells you that you do, okay? Anybody that tells you that you do is is a lie, and they're just lying to you. They're pulling your tail feather, because you don't have to have money to become an owner operator and start that transition. Now, if you, let's say you get into the lease purchase, okay, and you're sort of just like me, you really want to do it, but you don't have money to really to go out and just buy your truck straight out from somebody. You don't really have money at what it is. You can use that whole lease purchase way to basically build your income. To be able to build money for your maintenance. Okay, build money that is going to cover the cost of your maintenance. Um, you know what I'm saying? You can use that income that you get from the lease purchase, because you can make a pretty well income doing lease purchase, and not a lot of people was telling you that. Now, doing lease purchase, it is true. Your truck payments are going to be the between $700 and $800 a week range. You know what I'm saying? And in some ways, you are going to get robbed by the carrier. And depending on how the contract is set up, you might have to pay. Let me say it again. You might have to pay this outlandish, balloon payment at the end of the lease. Okay, that's why I say make sure it's a walk away, because even with a walk away lease, you can walk away in a better position, because you can use that lease purchase to better your credit, to start funding your business, to put money in a escrow account, so that way you're building money to basically to cover the cost of operation. You cover the cost of operation and your maintenance. You can put money away by doing lease purchase. Now, I also recommend inside of that, as becoming an owner operator, is not to ever come over here acting like you know everything. I see a lot of people fail, not because they can't hack it, not because they not willing to learn, is that they just think that they know everything about everything. You know what I'm saying? And when you act like that, when you're that type of person, you're not allowing yourself to be opened up for people to show you. You're not allowing yourself to open up to allow people to show you different tricks and different trades and different ways to better your business, whether it's from a company standpoint or whatever. But like I said, you can use at least purchase to actually put you in a better position. You understand? To basically put you in a better position where you can walk out with a down payment on a truck, go to a carrier that you actually want to go to without now how do I get in here? Go to a carrier that you actually want to go to without falling straight on your butt because you don't know anything. So those are my tips on basically how to be a successful owner operator. Research it, you know what I'm saying? Then turn over, research it, research. Look at the cost of everything. Look at the cost. Get you a mechanic that you can build a relationship with to be able to do business with in the future. And other than that, if you're unfor if it doesn't sound like too appeasing to you, start with the lease purchase, a true walkaway lease purchase to get your feet wet to learn how it is. And make sure you're still getting paid per mile. So as you're not really changing your habits up too much, but you're getting the full responsibility as what I do as an owner operator. The only difference is you don't really have to sit here and look and book your own loads and stuff and all of that. You're just out here chasing miles for the money, trying to run efficiently and learning more about how to build your business into success. But I'm